I decided I'm going to take a week off. I'm going to take a week off between the time that I got fired, laid off or whatever, and between the time that I'm going to go look for another job. I'm going to get my Indeed and everything else set up this week. And then, hold on, there's some shit on my phone. Let me just scrape that off really quick. There we go. I'm going to get my Indeed set up. And I'm going to get everything set up this week. And then I'm going to go job hunting next week. But what I really want to do is be an artist. And I'm going to look into art galleries and art booths. I've showed you guys my artwork before. I'm too lazy to get up and get it right now to show you, but I'll get up like later on maybe and show you guys some of my work. I'm also going to switch over from vaping to the Onis or the Zins or whatever. Right now I have these Onis right here, and I only got them because there was a deal on them. 5 for $16, but man, I was going to this gas station, right? And it was right by my old job. And they would sell 5 packs of Zins for only $10, dude. It was like $10.55 for 5 packs, bro. I mean, you can't, dude, that was like the best deal I've ever found on that shit. Like $2 a pack, man. You can't go wrong with that, you know? So I didn't come in here with anything to really talk about. Except I had this random thought while I like watching like old games like Frogger on the PS1, and I like watching like speed runs or whatever, or people like doing like runs of those games while hitting my vape. I actually have a tradition where every year I watch the Frogger run and I vape pumpkin flavored vape juice, right? Or at least for the last 2 years I've been doing that. So I was doing that. And I got this random thought during Bow Wow Falls or Green Gardens or whatever it's called. And I was thinking about this like thing I had heard on YouTube the other day about this robot, and it feeds off like biological matter, right? And this robot can literally like eat people or whatever in order to keep itself like satiated, you know? So, I mean, imagine you're like a Jesuit or someone in a high place of power, and, you know, you're like afraid like that the world's going to revolt because your like dollar's collapsing or whatever. What better way than to build an army of robots that feed off of like dead humans, you know? I mean, what better way to quell the uprising than to create this human-eating robot, man? I mean, you think about it, you know, and apparently I don't have anyone in here. I'm just kind of talking into the ether. But every time I say that, somebody comes in. Welcome, whoever just came in. Every time I say there's nobody in my chat, somebody just automatically pops up in there. It's like it's literally like a magical phrase at this point, like some sort of a meme or whatever. I should just say that at the beginning of every single video that I do. Now, dude, every time I say that, like a bunch of people pop in, you know? Hey, how you guys doing? Hope you're all doing good. I'm just talking about these robots that feed off of biological matter, which means they eat dead humans to get fuel or whatever. And it's like if you were like a Jesuit or someone in a high place of power, and your dollar was dying and you wanted to quell the uprising, what better way than to create an army of flesh-eating robots, dude? I mean, seriously. And the people that still think like, oh, everything's fine, you know, they're not planning to kill us all or whatever. It's like, yeah, okay, bro. Okay, keep thinking that, boomer. Keep on thinking that, boomer. You know, whatever, man. You know, it's like, I don't even care anymore, dude. I just sit back and I just let it all happen. Like, it doesn't even faze me anymore. Why? Is it like a spell or something? You know, words are spells, right? And if you say certain words, it has certain effects, man. Like, literally, like, let's say, you know, like people don't realize this, but they do magic every day, right? Black magic or white magic or whatever it is, whatever your like thought process is and your mental state is. Like, let's say you send out a negative thought form, like Kelly is such a bitch. I hope she goes and walks into traffic or whatever, right? It's a negative thought form, and you're sending black magic to that person, whether you know it or not. Why? What is it? Oh, I'm going to read it in my head first just to see. Janice, Sarah, why do you want me to say the full thing, though? Like, that kind of creeps me out a little bit, okay? I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm a little skeptical on that because like 33 is the most powerful spiritual number. So I don't really know like what you're playing at here, but tell me why you want me to say the full name. Have you seen that episode in The Simpsons when they eat everyone? I probably have. I've seen a lot of episodes of The Simpsons, actually. I used to watch The Simpsons all the time. I'm a 90s kid, and I grew up in the 90s. And, like, I used to love The Simpsons, man, back when it was actually good. And when, the episode, like, I was watching The Simpsons since before the episode with Who Shot Mr. Burns. And I think that's when it kind of took a turn, man. That's when it kind of like changed course. I'm not going to say her name. I'm just letting you know right now, I'm not going to say it. But yeah. So how's everybody doing? Hope everyone's doing good. Why do you want me to, I'm not going to put any more attention on it. I call my attention away from you. How's that? So, anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, guys, actually this kind of allows me to segue into another topic here, like, black magic and white magic and, words or spells. Words or spells, and what you say goes out into the world. They call it television because it tells lies to your vision. They call it spelling because you're casting spells. They call it cursive because it's a curse. These are not accidents. These are purposefully worded. These are purposefully articulated in the way that they are. Stop spamming my chat. Stop spamming my chat, please. So they are purposely articulated the way that they are. Oh boy. So I'm just gonna put my hand over this area right here. There we go. That's better. Words and spells are purposefully articulated the way that they are in order to I wonder if there's like shills that come in here, man, like because I know so much about this crap. Like, I know the Jesuits run the world. I know about like words being spells and everything. And I know about all the different dimensions of reality. I wonder if people like this come into my chat to throw me off my square or to like put spells on me or curses or whatever. You can't help but wonder. You really can't. And the important thing though, guys, is to always ask questions. Never stop asking questions. That's the main thing. Never question why something is happening the way that it is. I was at my old job and they had there was this like thing that happened or whatever, and I had to sign a form, and I always read through every form they gave me. I would always read through every form they gave me. And there was one form where and by the way, I rebuke all throat chakra spells in the name of God, in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. I'm just going to say it very clearly right now. I rebuke all of Janice's spells in the name of God, in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. And it is done. Now that that's settled, I always read through all the forms, right? And can I kick this person out of the chat? How do I kick someone out of the chat? Yes, they're trying to get people like us, brother. Absolutely, man. Gang stalking is a very real thing. I've experienced it firsthand for like 5 years. I went through it, and they do these little things that nobody else would notice. So if you went and told anybody, they would think you were crazy, right? But anyway, yeah. So, but I read through these forms. And they had one little clause in there that said, I will not do this again or whatever, or I will be penalized. And I'm like, why is that in there? I didn't do anything wrong. And let's see here. Yep. How do I kick people out, guys? Can you tell me how to kick people out? I'm going to figure it out really quick. No, that's not it. That just mutes my thing. Let's highlight their name, maybe. There we go. Got it. There we go. I got it. I timed them out. Now they can't speak for 24 hours in my chat. Perfect. That's better. See, I learn things every time I do these live feeds. I learn new things, guys. So that's you got to look at these negative things that happen to you as blessings, right? Some asshole comes into my chat and tries to spam my chat or whatever with nonsense, and you look at it as a bad thing, but in reality, it taught me something. It taught me an important lesson. It taught me how to block people and how to get them timed out in my chat. And I learned something today. You see? And that's how you got to look at everything in life, you guys. I'm going to pace around because it helps me focus more, helps me talk better. But yeah, it helps me focus more. Anyway, so what I was talking about though, there was a clause in there that would have said, I did something wrong and I will not do it again. I said, why is that in there? I didn't do anything wrong. And they're like, oh yeah, here, let us cross that out for you. I don't know how that got in there. Good catch. And I'm like, yeah, sure, you don't know how that got in there. You're just looking for more shit to add to my or whatever, and they would just have us anytime there was any minor infraction. I got caught vaping too close to the building one time, and there was there was a thing I had to sign, and it said, this person so and so is aware of the illegal acts they committed by smoking within 25 feet of the building. Literally, they've straight up said they are aware that they violated the law that you can't smoke 25 feet within a building, and they made me sign it. Hello from Canada. By the way, hello. That's cool. I'm close to Canada, honestly. Not too far from there, but I heard Canada's kind of a shithole now. Is that true? I'm not meaning to rag on Canada or anything, but I heard Canada is very difficult place to live now. I heard it's kind of like California, actually. There's I don't know if there's a big homelessness problem there, but I heard it's gone very liberal and that it's very difficult. If you're a white guy like me, then you basically have no place in society. Is that true? Looks like everybody left. I don't know if I should just end it here or not, and at least I learned how to use the timeout feature today. See, I'm learning new stuff as I go, guys. Every day I learn something new, and something new comes along, a new painful lesson to teach me. Yeah, yeah, bro. I feel you, man. I feel you on that one. Because, bro, it's getting like that everywhere, man, where they, guys like us, white guys who are, straight and everything, and are God-fearing Christian, whatever. They don't like us because it's become a demonic society, dude. Straight up demonic infested society, whether it's liberal or Republican, dude. And I don't even pay attention to the politics anymore. I don't look into any of that shit because it's all a bunch of Jesuit nonsense, dude. You look into how the tiers of the world are run, right? You got the people in places, you got the serfs, first of all, you got us, the serfs, who do the work for pennies on the dollar. Then you have the rich elite. Then you have the rich elite, like the multimillionaires and people like that. And then you have the mega elite, the multi-billionaires. Then you have the people in places of high political power, like Congress and the judiciary and the president and all that. And then you have the robber barons beyond that, which is the bankers, the Federal Reserve, who exchange bond notes or dollars in exchange for bond notes at interest, which is now $1 trillion a year, which is purposely designed that way. And then who runs the robber barons? Well, it's quite simple. The secret societies like Skull and Bones. They dictate what the robber barons do. And these guys are in with the secret societies. They're in these secret societies. And then beyond the secret societies, you have the Jesuits who serve the Pope. And then this guy, I was talking with this guy, actually. He actually told me there's two popes. There's a hidden pope. I don't know how true that is, because I don't fucking know, dude. I was just talking with him. Apparently he knew, but he said there's two popes. There's a pope for the side of light, and there's a pope for the side of darkness. And it's all because of the nature of duality, so they have two of them. I don't know how much I believe that, but I do believe that, you have Jesuits at the top, basically, and they run everything, and the Pope controls the Jesuits. And I believe if there was one emperor of the world, it would be the Pope. Straight up, it would be the Pope runs the world. I believe that he is the emperor. He is the king piece. on the chessboard. Yes, one dressed in red. Interesting. Yeah, I could see that, dude. I could totally see there being two of them, you know. One, because, like, you know, the Dark Pope could be in the shadows, you know, and it could symbolize, you know, like ruling from the shadows, man. You know, the Light Pope is out in the open. He preaches for, like, you know, the betterment of humanity or whatever, and the other one lurks in the shadows, doesn't like to be, you know, talked about, or, you know, he doesn't have to like to have the light shined on him, you know. And so, yeah, it would perfectly represent the nature of duality. I mean, it's totally feasible. This guy I know, though, like, I'm not gonna like get any more into like how I know him or whatever, but he was telling me some of this stuff, and like, because he's had, you know, I mean, I don't think he was in the secret societies or anything, but like, I think he knew people in the secret societies, and I think that's how he knew. So anyway, I'm getting to the end of this now. I don't really have much more to talk about. Either that, or I can divert to something else, to talking to about something else. You know, I'm about to quit vaping here in a minute because I can't afford it anymore. Guys, on a good week, on a good week, I pay $40 for my vaping habit. 40 fucking dollars, dude. And that money goes quick, dude. I pissed that money away so quickly, man. And like, when you're unemployed and you're on a budget, that's not good, dude. That's not good at all. But when I use like the Zins and the Onis, it's like $30 on a hard week. You know, like, especially, you know, because I go around looking for the deals, man. And like I was saying earlier, there's this gas station, and I found these Zins, and it was $10, 10.55 exactly for a can of five. For a can of five Zins, any strength, 3 or 6, you know, any flavor, any combination of flavors, dude, it was great. And right before I got laid off from my job, man, it was a gas station right by my job, they ended the deal. That's how they get you. They give out these nice deals, get you addicted to going to that one place, so you buy them all the time, and then you don't want to stop going there because we're creatures of habit. But that shit don't work on me, man. I'm gonna go to somewhere else, find another deal somewhere else, dude. I never had those. They're good. If you ever, it's not like the dip, and it's not even like the straight up like pouches, like the nicotine pouches, because with those you gotta spit. With the Zins, you don't gotta spit. And with the Onis, you don't gotta spit. You don't gotta spit any nasty shit out. You don't gotta spit into the cup or anything. It just kind of sits in your mouth, and nicotine absorbs into your bloodstream. And then after for the Onis, they don't last as long, but they hit kind of harder, and they last for about maybe 20 minutes or so. And for the Zins, they last anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes, but it's more of a slow come up. I prefer the Zins. Honestly, if I could find a deal on Zins, I would get the Zins over the Onis. But for right now, yeah, I got like this pack right here. I got it for $16, which ain't bad, you know. It's almost a week's worth of Onis. And after I finish my coil here, I'm on my last coil right now. Once this coil burns out, I'm done vaping. I'm done vaping for good. And it kind of sucks too, because I was literally just making my own vape shit. I was literally just starting to make my own vape juice again, because I like making vape juice. It's fun, it's easy, and it's cheap. But the problem, vegetable glycerin as opposed to propylene glycol. If you ever make your own vape juice, guys, order propylene glycol, because it's like liquid. Vegetable glycerin is more like cooking oil, and it's thicker, so the drops come out a lot larger, so it's harder to measure out. But when you order it with propylene glycol, the drops come out like doot, 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 in like little drops. And it's a lot easier to like gauge how much you're actually getting. I don't measure anything out. I just fucking eyeball it, you know, like a makeshift meth lab would do, like some meth guy who's been up for 5 days, you know, cooking his meth or whatever, and he's not paying attention, you know, only without the danger of like, because like this shit, you know, like the meth labs explode. That's how meth labs explode, is because these motherfuckers, they stay up for 5 days, they're psychotic, you know, they've been inhaling all those chemicals and shit, and they're probably smoking the meth too, you know, and then their shit explodes, you know. So never had no more messages. Okay. But yeah, so I don't know where I was going with this. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, that's right. Making my own vape juice. So it's nothing like that. I mean, I just make it, I eyeball it, and it comes out pretty good usually. I actually I'm pretty good at it. Like I'm very like creative type of person. I'm an artist, and making vape juice to me is an art. It's a form of art, but unfortunately, the good folks at the Federal Demon Administration want to charge you $100,000 to market your own brand of vape juice. It's like $100,000 to legally sell your vape juice. So, I mean, it's kind of a roadblock, I guess, because, I mean, of course, nobody ever. Well, I'm not going to say it on here. Nobody, I'm not going to say it on here because I'll probably get like shadow banned or whatever. But I mean, it's like people make their juice or whatever. There was this guy back in 2015. He would make me vape juice because he knew how to make it back then, and he made pretty good vape juice. So I'm running out of things to talk about. It's been 20 minutes and like my voice is getting kind of tired here. I'm just going on and on. One thing I will say though, if you do get fired from your job and you do lose your job and you do get laid off, do not get up later. Set your alarm and get up at the same time every single day. If you were getting up at 5 o'clock, get up at 5 o'clock. Get a haircut. I just got a haircut recently. Keep yourself all groomed, take care of your hygiene, shower every day, make sure you're doing all the things you were doing while you were going to work. Otherwise, you're going to backslide and it's going to be a really bad situation. That's how people slide into like alcoholism and homelessness when they lose their jobs and that's how they don't bounce back, because they don't stay in the same routine. You need structure in your life. You need to maintain structure in your life. You need to maintain, see, I'm so foggy today, man. But you need to maintain structure in your life and you need to maintain you need to stay on the same course. That's what I wanted to say. You want to stay on the same course as you were while you were going to work, essentially. Whether or not you're getting a new job or veering off and starting your own business or something else, So with that, I think I'm going to end it here. It's already been like 23 minutes. I think that's good enough for today. Talked about a lot of interesting shit today. And yeah, I'll see you guys around. I hope you have a great day. I learned something. I learned how to block idiots from my chat. That's pretty cool. And I'll see you guys around. I hope you all have a blessed day. All right. Bye.